Coming up on Global Business, a high-level China-EU summit will be held in Beijing on Thursday. We take a look at the expectations for the meeting. Heavy snowfall in Germany has disrupted air and rail traffic. We found out what impact it has had on the economy. And as the 2023 World 5G Convention kicks off in Zhengzhou in central China, we explore what's being discussed that it could shape the future of this cutting-edge technology. Hello and welcome to this edition of Global Business. I'm Lily Lu. Chinese Premier Li Qiang has met with the visiting Deputy Prime Minister and Ministry of Finance of Singapore, Lawrence Wong, in Beijing. Li said China is willing to seek greater strategic synergy and promote high-quality cooperation on the basis of the new partnership to inject impetus into regional development. Wong said that Singapore hopes to expand bilateral ties in trade and the digital economy in the near future. And earlier this year, the two nations announced the establishment of an all-round, high-quality, future-oriented partnership during Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong's official visit to China. Now let's get more analysis on the China-Singapore relations. We're joined by Zhou Mi, Senior Research Fellow at the Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economic Cooperation under the Ministry of Commerce. Mr. Zhou, great to have you on the show as always. So according to an IMF analysis earlier this year, it says that about 1 percentage point in GDP growth in China would lead to an average of 0.3 percentage point increase in growth in other Asian economies. So what kind of opportunities does China's push for high quality development bring for Singapore?
Since both China and Singapore, we are Asian countries, so we have many cooperation in the past decades that benefits both sides. As for China, is trying to improve our quality of the trade and also the economy development. I think that many of the people and also the enterprises of Singapore may benefit from that because the market is very huge and we are having so many potentials that will create many rooms for the cooperation in this regard. I think that it is also important because both countries are trying to find out some of the better ways that we can trying to make some good examples that other Asian countries can follow the suit. So actually, for the coming time, I think there are so many uncertainty and a lot of unpredicted factors that both sides, if we can do better to undertake this kind of cooperation, we can benefit a lot. I mean, for not only for us, but also other countries.
And also, what role will robust or let's say cemented economic ties between China and Singapore play in the growth of ASEAN and the RCEP?
Yeah, I think that both countries are really very active in advocating and trying to make the rules better used in this, past 2 years. I would say that for both sides, there are so many new chapters, including the e-commerce and some kind of new innovative ways that both sides can try to use the rules to facilitate the innovative based on the development and the economic and trade cooperation by both sides.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Zhou Mi. Please stay with us for more discussions later on in the program. A high-level China-EU summit will be held in Beijing tomorrow to discuss global economic issues and soothe the rocky relations between the two sides. Ahead of the summit, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen has warned member states will not tolerate a growing trade imbalance with China moving forward. China says managing differences through dialogue is an important path for China-EU relations. Take a listen.
Whether it is solving the outstanding problems facing Europe or effectively addressing global challenges, China is a trustworthy and indispensable partner of the EU. Properly settling differences through dialogue is an important experience for the development of China-EU relations. We hope the EU will work with China to create a positive atmosphere for success at the China-EU leaders meeting and make joint efforts for the healthy and stable development of relations.
China and Europe have played significant roles in facilitating each other's economic bounce back in the post-COVID era. Official data shows that China and the EU have remained each other's second largest trading partner, with trade totaling $847.3 billion in 2022 averaging over 2 billion euros in daily trade. On top of traditional sectors, Chinese companies, particularly those specializing in EVs, technology and renewable energy, have sought partnerships and investments in Europe. And by the end of November this year, some 81,000 China-Europe freight train trips have been made, providing services for 217 cities in 25 European countries. Experts say that trade between China and Europe is likely to continue in the future. One big driver is the China-Europe freight train service, a network connecting countries and continents. Yang Jinghao has more on the railway's key role in bringing the two sides closer together.
This company in the northwestern Chinese city of Xi'an specializes in producing intelligent household appliances. Their products, including a dishwasher, are popular in European countries, including Germany, France, and Spain, and are mainly exported via the China-Europe Railway Express. Here at the Xi'an International Port, the Chang'an China-Europe freight train settled for the very first time in November 2013. Over the past decade, the service has completed over 20,000 trips, and the transport route has grown from 1 to 17. The operator says there have been continuous improvements in transport efficiency and an increasingly diverse range of goods.
Initially, it took 15 to 18 days to reach Germany. Now it's been reduced to about 10 days. And in terms of safety, our freight trains are almost 100% safe and reliable. This has won the trust from a growing number of clients from both home and abroad.
Xi'an is one of the 5 hub cities for the China-Europe Railway Express. Currently, the express connects more than 200 cities in 25 European countries. Data from China's Railway Department on Tuesday shows that from January to November, the cross-border service handled more than 16,000 trips, transporting more than 1.7 million TEUs of goods. The volume already exceeds the total demand for last year. Overseas operators say they're optimistic about the freight service future.
We will do everything that the railways stay competitive in terms of rates, in terms of transit time, and in terms of quality service. So the industry will still search for such a solution and bring their goods by railway between all countries on the Eurasian corridor.
The country's top economic plan has also proposed concrete ideas to accelerate the high-quality development of the express.
We will jointly promote the informatization, digitalization, and intelligent construction of the express and actively explore and develop new models such as trains for people-to-people exchanges and tourism.
The official says more environmentally friendly technologies will also be applied to the route, paving the way for greener travel. Yang Jinghao, CGTN, Xi'an, Shanxi Province.
Now let's get some discussions on China-EU ties, and let's bring back our guest, Mr. Zhou Mi. So, Mr. Zhou, how do you think can China and Europe collaboration help to sustain global supply chains?
Yes, both sides of China and Europe are very important parts in the global supply chains. We are not only the consumption markets, but also the production and also some kind of the good ideas come from. So I think that for both sides, since there are so many uncertainty and risk construction of the global supply chain, if both sides of China and Europe can have a better and stronger correlations and also connections, I would believe that a lot of the correlation with other countries will be further established and strengthened. So both sides are really good at some kind of new ideas like the green technology and some of the transportation logistics. There are so many diversities in Europe. I believe that there are so many potentials that we can improve the supply chain's resilience.
And also, what does China's continued commitment to further opening up its market mean for European economies, especially in a post-COVID era?
Yeah, I would say that European European Union is kind of historically kind of players that committed to its promises. So it's a very good tradition for the European Unions to keep up their promises in the WTO and also in many other areas. So I would say that the openness is a kind of a very important thing that many of the countries should face after the pandemic. If we can try to find out the better ways to deal with the problems, we cannot just shut down our doors. It is impossible for us to deal with the challenges that sometimes may make it even worse.
Well, great insights. Thank you very much, Mr. Zhou Mi, Senior Research Fellow at the Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economic Cooperation for us. A dialogue focusing on economic, trade and cultural exchange between China and Arab countries took place in Beijing this Tuesday. Business leaders and government officials from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Oman and other countries gathered in Beijing's Chaoyang district to witness the inauguration of new cooperative organizations and projects between China and the Middle East. Beijing's Chaoyang district plays a pivotal role in facilitating international cooperation. It is home to 99% of the foreign embassies in China and also serves as the base for about 70% of the regional headquarters of multinational corporations and foreign-funded financial institutions. There are some insights from the participants. Let's take a listen.
The non-oil trade between the United Arab Emirates and China totaled $77 billion in 2022, with a growth of 26% from $61 billion in 2021. In order to effectively future-proof our economies, we need to focus on the new economy sectors, in addition to the key non-oil sectors such as tourism, technology, infrastructure, and logistics.
We will set up a committee, and we collect very experienced, very successful entrepreneurs from both sides, and they can share their experience, their knowledge about China, about the Middle East. The second is we will select some specific projects, and we will do some follow-up service. And number three is we have a very strong financial service team.
I live in Dubai most of the time. I lived in Beijing for 17 years. I'm originally from America, Meiguo. But let me tell you, there's no countries like the Middle East and China as far as being able to work together, very similar type, because they're relationship-driven communities, both of them. And that's why it'll work so good.
Oh, next, let's check out some other business headlines from across China. China will waive tariffs on 98% of taxable imports from 6 African countries, and they include Angola, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Madagascar, Mali, and Mauritania. The move echoes a statement released by China in 2021 to waive tariffs on nearly all taxable items from the least developed countries in an effort to share market opportunities with them. China's domestic movie industry earned revenue of over 51 billion yuan or $7.2 billion as of Tuesday. This is the first time that box office receipts have surged past 50 billion yuan since 2020. And China's Shidawan nuclear power plant, that's the world's first 4th-generation nuclear power plant, has commenced commercial operation. The project, located in Shandong province and boasting fully independent intellectual property rights, solidifies China's position as a leader in 4th-generation nuclear power technology. And still to come here on Global Business. Heavy snowfall in Germany has disrupted air and rail traffic. We found out what impact it has on the economy.
The global convergence for climate action is underway.
As world leaders, policymakers, and environmental champions
convene for a pivotal dialogue to safeguard our planet.
Join CGTN for COP28 in Dubai as the world transforms commitment into action for a sustainable planet.
Turning to Germany now. People living in southern Germany have been trapped in towns as heavy snowfalls disrupted the air and rail traffic. For more updates, let's cross over to our correspondent Natalie Carney in Munich. Natalie, tell us more about the latest updates on the snow disaster over there.
Yeah, well, for some, you could call it a disaster. For many, it's been a great 4 days here in what we've been calling a winter wonderland. These slopes behind me here fill up with children come the afternoon after school hours, and pets are frolicking in the upwards of 2 feet of snow that we've seen over the last 4 days. But yes, disaster is also another terminology you can provide this situation. It has been very, very chaotic as far as transportation goes. I mean, we're on day 4 now. Much of the snow fell Friday to Saturday evening here, but Wednesday we're still seeing teams out on the streets cleaning the roads. A lot of the side roads are seeing much more icy conditions as the snow is starting to melt, creating water, and these negative 0 temperatures we're getting here is not contributing to the icy, or not helping the icy conditions, I should say. Some buses are running, but in general public transport is still running very is not running on schedule, very interrupted. The Munich airport, for instance, the second busiest in the country, had to close on Saturday for what they called to clear away as much snow as they would normally see in a regular winter season. It also closed on Tuesday for half of the day to deal with the ice situation. So there's been lots of passengers that have been stranded at Munich International Airport. Same goes for long distance train lines here. Long distance to and from southern Germany have been disrupted quite substantially as teams work to clear away the snow, clear away the ice, and also repair the overhead electricity lines, a lot of them that have frozen over as well. So the situation, even though we are on day 4, is still very, very tense. People staying home if they can. But the thing is, too, schools are open. So it's a bit uneven as to which districts are dealing with what.
And also, what sort of impact is this heavy snowfall having on the local economy?
Well, a lot of economists are saying it's a little too early to say exactly, but we have been hearing some whispers and some general estimates that it is looking to around the 3-digit million mark, euro mark here in Bavaria. The biggest question going forward, too, though, is who is going to pay for all of this? I mean, with train disruptions, flight cancellations, there's also lots of concerns of damaged buildings and cars from the weight of the snow and icicles that have fallen, and even tree branches. You'll walk around parks and see a lot of tree branches have fallen. Insurance companies, of course, trying to shift the blame or trying to shift the responsibility onto policy holders. Deutsche Bahn and the airlines are saying we'll pay for some of it, we'll allow some rescheduling, but everyone's saying this is nature, it's not our fault. So it's going to take some time to really see where the buck falls, so to speak. But again, the numbers that are being estimated by some economists is upwards of 3-digit million euro mark. The city will have to, of course, pay for that. The state, even the federal government will have to pay for that. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly the economic impact is going to be of all of this. So for now, the best thing we really can do is stay home with a hot chocolate, some glue wine, and just enjoy the snowfall around us as we stay warm inside.
Yeah, hope you stay warm. Thank you very much, Natalie Carney, for us in Munich. While Germany has seen heavy snow, Austria has had its warmest winter on record. Austria's alpine ski resorts have never opened as late as this season. This not only affects skiers who enjoy an early start on the slopes, but also impacts the region's tourism sector. Our correspondent Johannes Plescheberg reports from the Stubai Glacier Resort in Austria.
Every autumn, ski school owner Albin Knoflach dreads looking at the weather report. Due to warmer temperatures, his school has been forced to open later each year.
Into the business, it has an impact, a massive impact, basically.
This season, Albin expects a third less income.
Here we usually started in September when the snow came, and now we start in November. That is missing 2 months out of 6 months.
Austria's Stubai resort opened its first few slopes in mid-October, the latest start in the glacier's history.
It's a pity that it opened this late, but it's amazing now.
In Switzerland, some high-altitude resorts set their opening date as late as mid-November.
If the snow season is getting shorter every year, then how long can winter sports actually last? businesses and governments are worried. In Austria alone, winter tourism generates roughly 5% of GDP, something that would be difficult to replace.
Climate experts say in the future skiing will only be possible on elevated glacier resorts like Stubai. Despite the fortunate location, Stubai's ski lift director Andreas Kleinlöcher is not content.
There's so much involved around skiing: the clothing, the skis, all the materials, the gastronomic and hotel sectors. Ultimately, the whole industry will only do well if you can ski everywhere and not just in a few areas.
Meanwhile, some resorts decided to change strategy. Last season, major Austrian ski destinations made more revenue in summer than winter, offering activities like hiking and mountain biking.
We can look back currently to a very successful, to an extended summer season. Okay, for some businesses, is it really difficult? But also these businesses change to other topics, and so they also have the possibility to do business as well, also during the summer period.
But the strategy doesn't work for everyone. Ski school owner Albin says if he'd start renting out hiking equipment during warmer months, in terms of revenue, this would only be a fraction of what his business usually makes in winter. Johannes Bleschberger, CGTN, Stubai, Austria.
And now let's check out some other key business headlines that we're tracking at the hour. Germany industrial orders fell unexpectedly in October, declining by 3.7% on the previous month. Data from the Federal Statistics Office shows that manufacturers saw a 0.7% rise in new orders in October, excluding large-scale orders. An exit from ultra-loose monetary policy will benefit Japan's economy, and that is according to the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Japan, Ryozo Himino. The remarks indicate that an end to decades of super low interest rates may be nearing. Himino said that BOJ should carefully monitor the evolution of wages and prices and judge the timing of the exit. And the Indian government on Wednesday sought parliament approval for additional spending of over $15 billion in the current fiscal year to fund higher subsidies for farmers and a rural job employment program. The opening ceremony of the World 5G Convention took place in Zhengzhou, capital of Henan Province in central China on Wednesday. Government officials, academicians, and representatives from key digital economy and 5G entities are gathering to shape the future of this cutting-edge technology. Zhou Yixing reports.
Experts emphasize the key role of digital technology and the digital economy as global growth engines. They say 5G's present phase is crucial for building upon past achievements and paving the way for 6G technology. But before 6G is commercialized, they note that 5G-A will offer a considerable upgrade.
In the era of 5G-A, more powerful network capabilities will bring greater bandwidth, lower latency, stronger reliability, higher positioning accuracy, and more for individual customers and industries. It will help the development of intelligence, digitalization, and low carbonization in various industries.
Attendees also highlight 5G's deep integration into production applications, shifting from serving enterprises to reshaping entire processes. The 5G Plus Smart Coal Mine project, a collaboration between China Mobile and China Pingmei Shenma Group, is only one example of 5G's transformative impact on industries.
The core of this project revolves around 5G. We've developed application innovations in 4 major scenarios. Among them, we use 5G technology in remote mining, which enables remote control above ground and remote excavations underground, avoiding the dangers of operating in the latter. 5G support greatly helps to reduce the number of people working underground.
The exhibition is also showcasing diverse 5G applications, from smart finance and transportation to mining and medical care, illustrating the technology's impact on society and life as a whole. 2023 marks 5 years since China began commercializing 5G technology. China has built the world's largest 5G network, ushering in a critical period of large-scale 5G application and technological innovation. Attending guests said the pace of development of 5G technology will contribute to accelerated digital transformation in a range of industries. 这是 CGTN 郑州河南 Province.
In a report from GSMA, that's the world's leading private mobile industry association, says that 5G connections in China accounted for more than 60% of the global total as of the end of last year. Zhang Shixuan takes a look at how and why 5G systems are growing so quickly here.
5G is not new, but developers are continuing to come up with new applications.
Welcome to Shanghai.
Chinese tech giant Huawei has just released a new 5G telephone function that will allow callers to use quick translations if the person on the other end of the call speaks a different language.
I want to book a taxi.
The person answering the phone can get a real-time translation on their phone screen, and both sides can create customized cartoon avatars.
Based on traditional video and audio phone calls, we've developed many new special services, such as video animation, screen illumination, and real-time translation. The system now can support translation of more than 200 languages.
Mobile Industry Association GSMA estimates that by 2025, China will become the world's first market to have 1 billion 5G connections. Last week, the association signed an initiative called Open Gateway with 3 Chinese telecom carriers, inviting them to join its member networks and allow tech developers to create applications that will be shared globally.
We now have 30 mobile operators, including China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicom. We are thrilled. This is going to be absolutely fantastically exciting to launch APIs that are for business to use our 5G networks. It's a sharing that gives the power and the strength of this initiative. 5G, of course, in China is a fantastic success story. It is by far the fastest developed technology at all times. 5G is here to stay for a long time, targeting more business-to-business segments.
The organization estimates that this year 5G data is close to taking up 60% of Shanghai's total network traffic. Huawei last week proposed the concept of a 5.5G era, which would protect telecom operators' previous investment in 5G while also improving network performance by 10 times. The company said it will launch a complete set of commercial 5.5G network equipment in 2024. Zhang Shixuan, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.
And that will do for this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. Thanks for being with us. I'm Lily Lu in Beijing. Till next time, bye for now.